What's going on, everybody? Crazy Dog back for another video. So this video will be my division by division draft reviews, where I go through each team's draft class, talk a little bit about each player, and then give that draft class a grade. Now I'm also going to look at their positions of need and see how they addressed each need. So we're starting off with the AFC North, obviously, and of course I already did the Browns, so you can cross them off the list. I will actually put my Browns draft review video link in the description box so you guys can watch it in case you haven't watched it yet. So we're going to start off this video of the AFC North draft reviews with the third place Cincinnati Bengals. So let's take a look at the positions of need, shall we? So their positions of need are defensive line, wide receiver, running back, linebacker, and offensive line. Alright, so let's see how they addressed each position in the draft. So with their first round selection, the 9th pick overall, the Bengals select John Ross, wide receiver out of Washington. Okay, there you go. You got yourself a nice receiver. He's pretty much a one-trick pony. He's only known for one thing: his speed. And didn't he hurt himself running the 40 because he ran too fast? How often do you ever see people hurt themselves because they ran too fast? Well, that happened with John Ross. But I think he'll be a really effective weapon for that Bengals offense if he can get into open space. Because once he gets in open space, you're not catching him. You can only hope you can catch him. Maybe, you hope he stumbles or something, but yeah, you're not going to catch him. So, one pick in, not a bad pick. Alright, moving on to the second round, 16th pick, 48th overall from the Vikings. The Bengals select Joe Mixon, running back out of Oklahoma. Alright, this was a very controversial pick according to a lot of people. It's not that bad because Joe Mixon, got over his whole situation. He continued to play ball at Oklahoma. He did pretty well at Oklahoma, But now he's going to Cincinnati, and you know who else is in Cincinnati? Vontaze Burfict and Adam Jones, two of the most notorious troublemakers in the NFL. So now you're adding a guy with a troubled past to two more guys with troubled pasts and troubled futures. So that's not going to end well. I already know it. Hopefully Joe Mixon stays as far away from those two clowns as possible. God. I feel bad for anyone that goes to Cincinnati, That team's just a dumpster fire. Even worse than us. I mean, the Browns had a better draft than the Bengals. Believe it or not. I mean, we did take one of their offensive linemen in free agency. Got him the heck out of there. And he's coming to the good side of Ohio now. Alright, so moving on to the third pick, to the third round, 9th pick, 73rd overall, the Bengals selected Jordan Willis. What'd you talk about, Willis? Linebacker out of Kansas State. And I really like this kid. I like the way he played ball. He's a very good linebacker. Again, it's a shame that he has to go to Cincinnati, but I hope he has a good career, Moving on, 4th round, the Bengals actually had 2 4th-round picks, but 3 4th-round picks. Damn, okay. The first they used on a linebacker, 9th pick, 116 overall. The Bengals selected Carl Lawson, linebacker out of Auburn. Another very good player. I actually low-key wanted him on the Browns, but he went to Cincinnati, of course, right? That's happened to me so many times. There's a player that I really want, and I think he's going to be there for the Browns, and then the Bengals snatch him up. But hey, there's one thing Cincinnati does right. It's raising good linebackers. I can already tell you Carl Lawson will be a beast in the league. Now moving on to the second fourth round selection, which they got from the Vikings through Dolphins. 22nd pick in the fourth, 128th overall. The Bengals selected Josh Malone, wide receiver out of Tennessee. Okay, another big receiver to go alongside A.J. Green. Okay. And he also brings more speed to that receiving core, according to Mark Dolgerian, who does like almost all these analysis things on the draft page on NFL Network, on NFL.com. It's pretty cool how they have that. But yeah, you get another receiver to stretch the field with A.J. Green, and then you have John Ross too. It's impressive. So, with their final pick in the fourth round, 32nd overall, 32nd pick in the fourth round, 138th overall. This is a comp pick. The Bengals selected Ryan Glasgow, defensive tackle, Michigan. All right. Get yourself another guy to solidify that D-line. Not a bad pick. Not bad at all. But if you notice something, the Bengals refused to address one of their most glaring needs. Offensive line. You know? So far through 4 rounds, they have not addressed that once. Okay? We'll see how they do the last day of the draft. So, they better address it, or people can be mad. Especially Andy Dalton. Because with that offensive line he has now, he ain't lasting too long. He won't be able to do much, you know, especially with the vicious pass rushes that the AFC North now possesses. Alright, so 5th round, 9th pick, 153rd overall. The Cincinnati Bengals selected Jake Elliott, kicker out of Memphis. Alright, so you address special teams before you address your offensive line. Okay. And then they must have heard, because later on in the 5th round, 33rd pick, 176 overall, this is a comp pick. The Bengals selected J.J. Dillman, center out of Utah. So there you go. They address their offensive line with a center. Okay. I'm pretty sure he could play guard or any other position, so it's not like he's going to be a one-trick pony. At least I don't think. We'll see how they use him, if he even makes the team. Wouldn't that be funny if he didn't make the team? Oh, I would laugh. So, moving on into the 6th round, the Bengals have 2 picks. The 9th pick in the 6th round, 193rd overall. The Bengals select Jordan Evans, linebacker out of Oklahoma. Alright, so you go right back to addressing linebacker. Alright, that's what now? 3 linebackers you've addressed in this draft? Okay. Got a whole new linebacking core right there through this draft. And then, later on in the 6th round, 23rd pick, 207 overall, from the Titans through the Giants, the Bengals select Brandon Wilson, running back out of Houston. Okay, so you get another running back. Alright. To compete with Mixon and Bernard and Hill. Okay. And then with their last pick, the 33rd pick in the 7th round, 251 overall, it's a comp pick. The Bengals select Mason Schreck, tight end out of Buffalo. Okay, so you end the draft with a tight end. Okay. Well, I'm going to give the Bengals draft, I'm going to give it a B-. Because they really addressed all their defensive needs. Linebackers, they got a few corner. Did they get a corner? No. No, they didn't. Well, they didn't need a corner. So they addressed their front seven, not too bad. Of course, they didn't address the offensive line that much. If I was the Bengals, I would have at least used 3 picks on the offensive line. But no, they waited all the way until the last day to address their they waited until the last day of the draft to address their offensive line, which arguably was their most glaring need after they lost Whitworth and Zeitler to free agency. So we'll see how they do this coming season. And Bungles fans, we'll see you week 4. Alright, moving on to the team that finished second in the division. We got the Baltimore Ravens. Now the Ravens did not have as many picks as the Bengals did. So let's take a look at their positions of need. Linebacker, wide receiver, corner, offensive line, and defensive line. By the way, the Bengals did address every single need, even if they just addressed line with just 1 pick. So let's see how the Ravens address their needs in the draft. So starting off with their first selection, 16th pick in the first round, the Ravens selected Marlon Humphrey, corner out of Alabama. There you go. Another great corner to add to the secondary. Round 2, the Ravens selected with the 15th pick in the second round, 47th overall. They selected Tyus Bowser, linebacker out of Houston. All right, another great linebacker to put in that linebacking core. Okay, so far so good. Third round, 10th pick, 74th overall from the Eagles. The Ravens selected Chris Wormley, defensive end out of Michigan. Okay, that's a big need. I mean, you lost Doomerville, right? So you bring in Chris Wormley to add depth, maybe even start at defensive end. Okay, I like that pick. It's a nice pick by the Ravens. Ozzie knows what he's doing, Of course, he always knows what he's doing. That's the one thing he's good at, drafting. So later on in the third round, they had 2 third-round picks, by the way. 14th pick, 70th overall in the third round. Literally 4 picks later, the Ravens select Tim Williams, linebacker out of Alabama. Okay, another linebacker. So far, they went all defense. All right. Add another piece to that linebacking core. Okay. I see what they're doing. And then they must have looked at the Bungles and thought, damn, they're stupid. Let's not be like them. So, with their 4th round selection, 16th pick, 122nd overall in the 4th round, the Ravens select Nico Siragusa, guard out of San Diego State. Okay, so they addressed offensive line in the 4th round. Okay, it's a nice pick. Nice depth for the offensive line. You could possibly even start, too, if needed. And then in the 5th round, the Ravens selected with the 15th pick, 159th overall in the 5th. The Ravens selected Jermaine Illuminor, guard out of Texas A&M. Okay, so you doubled down on guards. Okay, I like that. You've already done better than the Bengals. And then you end your draft in the 6th round by selecting Chuck Clark, defensive back out of Virginia Tech. Okay. It's not a bad draft by the Ravens, Definitely it wasn't their best, but it was a pretty good draft, as compared to the Bungles, right? I'm going to give the Ravens draft, I'm going to give it a B, because, they didn't really address too many things. They didn't address offense too much. I mean, looking at their needs, they addressed, 4 of their 5 needs. The only need they didn't address was receiver. And I feel like they could have used another receiver because Kamar Aiken left. All they got is Mike Wallace. And of course, Steve Smith is gone as well. Are they going to really rely on Brashad Perryman and Mike Wallace to be their main receivers? I don't know. It's going to be interesting to look at, But yeah, I'm definitely giving the Ravens a B. It's better than the Bengals, but we'll see what they do. All right, so far I've given the Bengals a B- and the Ravens a B. Moving on to the division champion Pittsburgh Steelers. All right. So their needs: linebacker, cornerback, wide receiver, tight end, and quarterback. Okay. Corner and quarterback. Okay. So let's see how they address their needs throughout the draft. Starting with the first pick the 30th pick in the first round, 30th overall, the Pittsburgh Steelers selected T.J. Watt, linebacker out of Wisconsin. All right. Get another big dude to put on that front seven. All right. Replace Timmons. Okay. Then in the second round, the Steelers, with the 30th pick, 62nd overall in the second round, selected Juju Smith-Schuster, wide receiver out of USC. Okay. This is pretty much a message to a certain receiver who just got reinstated not too long ago. Pretty much telling him, if you mess up one more time, you're gone, and we got your replacement right here. That's pretty much what they're telling him. But Juju Smith-Schuster is a really good receiver. Of course, I don't really trust USC receivers. Just look at Nelson Aguilar. What's he been doing? He sucks. We'll see how Juju Smith-Schuster plays out. All right, moving on to the third round. By the way, the Steelers have 2 third-round picks. With the 30th pick in the third round, 94th overall, the Pittsburgh Steelers selected Cameron Sutton, cornerback out of Tennessee. This was a glaring need because the secondary got eaten alive at times last year. The secondary is off and on. You have to rely on Ross Cockrell to cover guys, and he can't do that. Artie Burns is actually a pretty good corner, but yeah, I would not rely on Ross Cockrell at all. He sucks. And now you can possibly replace him with Cameron Sutton. So there you go. Problem solved. Now you can just kick Ross Cockrell to the curb. And then with the 41st pick, 105th overall in the third round, this was a comp pick, the Pittsburgh Steelers selected James Conner, running back, Pitt. Now this was a pretty feel-good story here, The kid beat cancer, and now he's playing on Sundays for the Steelers. And there's a funny thing. He was already playing at Heinz Field with Pitt. But the thing is, now, instead of playing on Saturdays in front of a few thousand fans, he'll be playing on Sundays in front of a packed house. That should be something to watch. Him and Le'Veon Bell are definitely going to tear up the league. Watch out. That should be fun to watch. Low key. The AFC North is going to be fun this year. With, all 4 teams having pretty good drafts so far. Of course, I don't know what the Steelers have done in the rest of their draft, so let's take a look. All right. Now moving on to the 4th round. The Pittsburgh Steelers selected with the 29th pick, 135th overall in the 4th round. The Pittsburgh Steelers selected Josh Dobbs, quarterback, Tennessee. Well, there you go. There's your successor to Big Ben. Most likely. Unless they go Landry Jones, which if they do that, oh my god, I'm laughing at you guys. Oh my god. I think everyone in the AFC North will laugh at you guys if Landry Jones is a successor to Big Ben. That'd be hilarious. Oh my god. But he won't be the successor. No, it'll be Josh Dobbs. I like Josh Dobbs. Low key, if we didn't get Deshaun Kaiser, I wanted Josh Dobbs. But I mean, hey, we got Kaiser. I'm happy. You know, I can't wait for the battles between Kaiser and Dobbs. That's going to be fun to watch. So moving on to the 5th round, with the 30th pick and 173rd overall, the Pittsburgh Steelers select Brian Allen, defensive back out of Utah. Okay, so you address the secondary again. Okay. Then, a round later, 30th pick, 213 overall, this time in the 6th round, the Steelers select Colin Hulba, long snapper out of Louisville. Okay. Just when I thought the Browns selecting a kicker was out of the ordinary, the Steelers go out and sign a long snapper. A long snapper. I mean, your current long snapper is what, 36 years old. I'm pretty sure you can find them out there somewhere in the market, but you draft one? Interesting. Okay. See how that works out. And then in the 7th round, last pick, 30th pick, 248th overall, the Pittsburgh Steelers selected Keon Adams, linebacker out of Western Michigan. Okay, so you end the draft with another linebacker. Okay. So looking at their needs, once again, they addressed 4 of their 5 needs. The only need that they did not attend to was tight end. But I mean, they got Ladarius Green too, and they got Jesse James. So they're not too needy at that position. But we'll see how the tight end plays out with the Steelers. But if I had to give the Steelers a grade, I'm definitely gonna give it. I'm giving it an A. I give the Browns, I think, an A as well. I'm giving the Steelers a grade just below the Browns, probably an A-. Can't even remember what I gave the Browns. It's sad, but yeah. So there you go. That's the AFC North draft review. Now coming up later today, I'll be doing the NFC North. So pay attention for that. But for now, I'm Crazy Dog 99. Let's go Browns. Let's get this turnaround started. The time is right. The AFC North is weakening. This is our chance to strike and take over the division. Alright, I'm Crazy Dog and I'm out.